Configuration of production planning and detailed scheduling. Prerequisite for production planning. Number ranges for orders. In SAP API, you can use number ranges to assign an internal number to order created in SAP API. As soon as an order is transferred to SAP ECC via CIF, it is assigned an order number in SAP ECC based on the SAP ECC order number. Then SAP ECC order number is then returned to SAP APO so that the order is displayed in APO with its SAP ECC order number. To configure the number ranges in APO, go to SPRO. SP reference IMG, Advanced Planning and Optimization, Supply Chain Planning, Production Planning, Detailed Scheduling. In global setting, you can see maintain number ranges for orders. Here you can maintain the number ranges, change intervals. You can insert intervals. From number and to number. So we can define the intervals from number and to number. Insert and save. So we have to transport the interval number ranges. Changes were saved. Next, you can configure strategy profile. You can use strategy profile to control detailed scheduling. For example, infinite planning or planning directions backwards with reverse. You can maintain strategy profile for interactive planning, planning in planning run or CTP planning, and the conversion of SNP land orders, and for orders transfer from SAP ECC. So go to transaction SPRO, same as you have defined for number ranges for orders. You can see here maintain strategy profile. In the strategy profile, you can define which strategy you are going to use and sequence in which you are going to define the strategies. Maintain strategy profile. New entries. You can also see the strategies here. Standard strategy SAP 001 and so strategy profile SAP 001. You can see here you can see strategies, planning direction: forward, backward, forward with reverse, backward plus reverse. So you can define the strategy which you want in the strategy profile. So new entries, go back, new entries, strategy profile, then click on strategies. The entries already existed in this with the same key. Strategy profile, let's go PPDS, enter and click on strategies, select and click on strategies. Now click on new entries, strategy number 1, as specified in the resource, and here in the planning direction you can see select forward. At the current date, set strategy parameter, do not consider, you are fixed pegging, do not consider, and you can save the strategy profile. So profile has been created and transport request has been raised. Continue. I can display, select and click on that. Strategy number 1 has been created with forward planning direction. Next, production planning procedure. So let's go to we can see the maintain planning procedure. The planning procedure in the product master describes how a product is to be planned. For example, you can plan a product in planning run and only write planning file entries. If there are planning relevant changes occurs. Alternatively, you can carry out immediate planning of product in a particular cases. So in this case we have to do recommended default setting is planning in planning run. And in the maintain planning procedure you can select from several different planning procedures that must be defined for settings for production planning and detailed scheduling. So these procedures defines the system behavior in response to different events. A heuristic is also saved here and must be used during automatic planning. And setting for automatic planning is always deployed performance. And if we select planning procedure planning in planning run for a product, system will create planning file entry for every if we select planning procedure for planning in planning run for a product, system will create planning file entry for every planning relevant changes. The product is then planned in next planning run using heuristic entered in product master if applicable. If we have not defined any heuristic in the product master, the heuristic defined in customizing for PPDS will be used. So you can maintain planning procedure. Maintain planning procedure. New entries. So here you can also see the click on reaction to events. So here you can see the different planning procedures: manual with check, manual without check, planning in planning run. Planning in planning run should be standard setting for product in APO, so it does not unnecessarily impair performance. The setting is particularly useful for planning a large number of products. So production planning run. So in the events you can see the change product port master. You can see the goods receipt processing time, change sales order configuration in OLTP. These are the events. So in the you can see fixed pegging in multiple planning. You can see do not create fixed pegging relationship. So let's go to new entries. Now let's create on planning procedure new entries. Save planning procedure 1. Save. So SAP has given allowed namespace are SAP has given number allowed namespaces. So 1 to S are the SAP namespaces and A to Z are customer namespaces. So you can take T and select you can select the restrict. You can save. Continue with the transport request. Now you select and click on new entries and select event. In the event you can select change production order in OLTP system. Any one of these. Change product master in SAP APO. Here you can say do not carry out any actions. Now, do not create fixed peg relationship. Save. For change port master in APO, we must select suitable received elements. Enter and save. Data saved. So here you can see for planning processor T, the events has been configured. Change product master in APO, and reuse mode is use suitable receipt element. Next is maintain category group. Category group are used to assign requirement and stock categories to the category groups. Category groups are used in planning area when transferring data from demand planning to supply network planning. So they are used in planning area, for instance, to specify categories from which orders are taken into account by supply network planning when reading a key figure from LiveCache. For this purpose, you can also specify quantity type for each category that you want the system to take into account when it reads orders from this category for a key figure from LiveCache. Especially in PPDS area, you use this to assign category group to information rows defined in cross-location chart in production planning table. So let's configure. Here you have to define, these are the standard categories. These are ATI, ATR, distribution requirement TLB confirmed, production planned. These are the standard category groups. You can see the categories. For PP1, category is E. Simply planned orders. So create category group, click on new entries. You can say category group for production S&P planned orders. Assign and select that category group and assign category to the category group. Again click on new entries, assign the category group, which you have created just now. CGT in the assign category group. select from the list double plan address and you can save. So request transport request, let's continue with the transport request. Data was saved. So you can see category group for this. For this category group CGT, the category has been assigned. Next, maintain planning group. For MRP run setting, maintain planning group and propagation ranges. So you can define the planning group to execute production planning run with heuristic, especially for a group of products. Planning groups are relevant for all heuristic that execute planning, such as procurement planning heuristic and MRP heuristic. So in production planning run, the system can only plan the product if it is contained in the propagation. If it is contained in the propagation range that it is specified in setting for production planning run. In order that the system only plans product from one planning group in the production planning run, you have to restrict the propagation ranges to the planning group. Planning group is also available for the propagation ranges as a selections criteria. So definition of planning group. Planning group is the additional product grouping and selection criteria for production planning. Planning group allows you to select and group together specific products for joint production planning. Planning group has to define in production planning, customizing, and the product is assigned to planning group in a product master PPDS tab page. So let's create the planning group. So production planning detail scheduling, and here you can see MRP run, the maintain planning group. So here you can create the new entries. You can create new entries and create planning group for product. So planning group created and its request has been raised. Continue. This is creation of planning group. Maintain propagation ranges. Propagation ranges defines the resource and product for which a planner can change planning. So propagation, this includes creating and changing orders for these products, changing capacity and planning parameter of this resource, rescheduling operation at these resources. And you can specify resource and ports that you can work in production planning, detail scheduling in the propagation range. The resource in propagation range are relevant for resource related scheduling, and the port in the propagation range are relevant for port related scheduling. When you create an order in the order view for a product in propagation range that contains components that are not in the propagation range, so system does not create orders for these components. So you can define propagation ranges in the customizing of PPDS. Maintain propagation ranges. You use the propagation ranges to define which resource and ports you can plan in production and detail scheduling tool. A standard SAP all propagation range allows you to plan all resource and products. So let's create propagation range. Maintain propagation range. So here you can see the resource selection and the product selection. Go to new entry. ZTS propagation range for TS. Or you can also select the propagation range to get standard settings for propagation range. SAP ALL. Save and the request. Continue with new request. And you can select the detailed resources in port selection. You click on change mode. So here you select ZTS propagation range and click on product selection, include product number continue, and here you can give the product PROD 01, continue, save. The propagation range has been saved and included the product, and you can also include bottleneck resources, you can select bottleneck resource and move into your selection folder. Bottleneck resource, yes, you save the selection, and here you can also see the standard SAP defined, SAP recommended propagation range, SAP all. Click the resource, here they have selected all resource, and the select port selections, they have selected all the port numbers. So this is the customization of propagation range. Heuristic run setting. Maintain heuristic profile. Same here, you can see portion planning, the heuristic, you can see the maintain heuristics, the heuristic profile. Heuristics heuristic is a planning function that executes planning for selected objects, for products, orders, operation, resource, using a particular algorithm. So we can use various standard algorithm to solve specific planning task. So SAP has recommended standard settings. SAP has delivered standard setting, detailed scheduling heuristic, SAP 001 shuttle sequence. Here forward scheduling, the procurement planning heuristics, SAP _PP_002 planning for standard lots, heuristic for process control, SAP _MRP_001 product planning, component according to low level code, SAP _MRP_002 product planning component immediately. So heuristic for planning tasks, these are standard settings. So let's create the heuristic. So here you can see the standard heuristic provided by SAP, and here the algorithm as defined. Heuristic SAP is a schedule sequence. You can see the general strategy parameters. There is the strategy, schedule dependent operation infinitely, so you can see the algorithm, This is algorithm heuristic plan sequence. You can see the information using the detailed scheduling algorithm sequencing. You can reschedule selected operations in detailed scheduling planning board as well as in mass processing in random scheduling sequence. System deallocates the operation and schedules them subsequently in the desired sequence. System performs rescheduling using strategy setting that you have defined for the heuristic. So this is standard algorithm for standard heuristic SAP 001. SAP has recommended to use standard set heuristics. So we have no need to create heuristics. You can see that so many heuristics are there. You see SAP underscore MRP 001 port planning component according to low level code, portion planning plan component immediately, so this is a maintenance of heuristic. Maintain heuristic profile. You can use heuristic profile to control which heuristic you can work when you call up interactive production planning and detailed scheduling. You can use different heuristic profiles for the entering different with different screens, and you can create different heuristic profile for DS planning board, order view, and product planning table. SAP has provided standard heuristic profiles. So SAP 001 standard heuristic profile, standard SAP 002 standard heuristic profile for PP, so let's can see here maintain heuristic profile. SAP has provided standard SAP 001 standard heuristic profile for PP. You can see the heuristic contains planning of standard lots, graph procedures, rescheduling bottom up, top down, and interactive CTP heuristics. And you can see product planning table setting, maintain overall setting for product planning table. Let's go to SAP. Production planning, port planning table, and here you can see define overall setting for port planning table. So here also SAP has provided standard SAP 01 port planning table. You select and click on master profile. So here you can see master profile SAP 001 application port planning table, description in-house production. These are the profiles: change overall profile, period profile, heuristic profile. can also create you can also create new overall setting for product planning table. In-house production. Choose a key from allowed namespace. So select TS. You can define YST001 save. So transport request continue. Select new entries to create master profile to include the profiles. You can use HT profile, standard HT profile. You can also use chart profile, portion planning view, standard, detailed scheduling planning board. We'll include this one later. And save. Data saved. This is a configuration of our setting for product planning table. Now for detailed scheduling, maintain our profile, time profile and settings for detailed scheduling board. Time profile, maintain time profile. You use the time profile to define the following time segments for detailed scheduling planning board. Planning period is relevant to the detailed scheduling planning board in resource TS and DS heuristic. System can change the resource schedule within a planning period. Only activities that start within planning period can be rescheduled. The activities can only be rescheduled to start dates and times within the planning period. Display period. The display period is relevant to the detailed scheduling planning board. A detailed scheduling and planning board and resource planning table displays scheduling in display period. SAP has delivered standard profiles for time profile, and you can also create time profile if you want to work with your own time profile. So let's see the time profiles. production planning, so detailed scheduling. You can see the time profile, SAP has provided a standard time profile SAP 001. So planning period -2 plus 3 months, the relative month -2 start plus end date. You can also create new time profile. Click on new entries. For 3 months. Select relative month, planning board relative month, so we can give the start date +1, same for +1 is +3. So save, continue with the request, the data was saved, and you can maintain overall profile. In the overall profile you can include new entries, overall profile for enter the planning version. You can include the strategy profile, heuristic profile, propagation ranges, ZTS, time profile, planning board profile, so SAP has recommended standard profile. You can select PP strategy profile SAP 002, detailed scheduling strategy profile SAP 001. Save. You can select optimization profile, SAP standard profile. Save with a new request. Your data was saved. Go back. The optimization overall profile created. You can also do settings for detailed scheduling, maintain planning board profile, Maintain planning board profile. In the planning board profile, you can define structure of detailed scheduling planning board, selection and layout of objects that are to be displayed, and you can specifically you define the following: technical basic setting for planning board graphics, various planning board charts, field selections and settings, sorting the columns in table section of chart. In planning board profile, you define which functions and the heuristics are available in the toolbar. If you have not entered any functions, toolbar contains standard SAP defined functions. Let's create planning board profile. Production planning, detailed scheduling, settings for planning board. So you can see settings for define planning board profile. So SAP has recommended standard planning board profile PUMP_00. Standard profile cannot be changed. So here you can see the table section width, in the mode, the marking type, and when you go to chart, you can see the resource chart, product and the order chart all are configured for with standard profile. And go to general objects, you can see in-house productions finally confirmed, sales without consumptions. When you go to toolbar, display functions in the context. So SAP has recommended to use standard profile. If you want to work with your own defined planning board profile, so you can configure by clicking on new entries and enter configure for the chart and configure for graphical objects. Click on new entries. For TS, marking color, colored marking type frame, you can make all settings, table section width 300 and zoom factor 3000, lot in modes, marking type, time to profile week, and select alternative resource and save. Click on save. Continue with new request. You can go to chart, click on new entries. You can include the charts. You can select chart object 1 and enter the description resource chart for PS and save, and you can repeat same procedure for different charts, product charts, etc. etc. You can create up to 8 charts, 1 to 8 charts. Product chart, resource chart, capacity overload chart. Next, create a graphical objects. New entries. In graphic object ID, you can enter the graphic ID in-house production for TS. You can save. So this is graphical objects. You can also define toolbar and context menu. So this is a configuration of planning board profile. Configuration of model mix planning. You can define in the restrictions. You can define restrictions on fields in product master. So we can select it MIT-NR for material. And here you can configure for production configuration, set profile, define control profile, set profile. Here are the SAP standard profile is SAP 1. So confirmation profile SAP 1, and there are all the details. In the plan order, you can define detailed profile, SAP has the standard profile. You will select SAP 001, assign the detail screen, where you can see the detail screen, detail screen 1, 2, and the 4 act underscore SD. So you can create new detail profile by creating a new entries. So once you have configured all heuristic setup, deployment setup, mm, planning board profile setup, then you have to do globals. In the global setting, you have to maintain global parameter and defaults. So in this we can maintain the complete configuration for planning and the execution mode for execution and ATP categories. Here you can see the heuristic standard heuristic SAP underscore PP underscore 001, the planning area, SMP planning area, the strategy profile, and in the executive you can see conversion rule, result of planner check, and ATP categories for PPDS. You can use stock transfer, in-house production, stock transfer requisitions. These are standard ATP categories. Check the parameter and profiles maintained in standard SAP setting and assign to your own setting for global parameter and defaults. You can assign its own settings to use number ranges, select heuristic for change quantity, and here select your planning area. PPDS, remove orders from no restrictions, transfer to R3 in-house production, always create transfer events. In a strategy profile, conversion of SMP to PPDS, use standard profile. Interactive planning SAP 002, the execution, select conversion rule, no check, in ATP category. These are the standards categories for PPDS, stock transfer. Save the global parameter default values for your planning area. Continue with a new request. Data was saved. So data has been copied for planning area PA1 underscore SMP underscore TS. So this is configuration of production planning and detailed scheduling. Thank you.